Hey everyone, Deity here. So this is going to be my main post-expansion build. I'm still working on like 4 other builds, but they're all semi-related to this main one, meaning this will be my most commonly used one, and you can reuse a lot of the pieces across the board. These artifact pens are probably the best armor artifact you can currently get as a bow. It lets you get a total of 700 attributes once you're fully 700 gear score, so this 245 con would even be 250. There is a bug with Magnify where the only way to get around it is by putting 1 or 2 extra attribute points. So for example, to get 25 strength and 25 focus, you have to invest 1 extra point in either like this. If you want to run 3 25 stats, you would do something like this where it's 26, 27, and then 25. But anyways, besides that bug, obviously you want to max out 350 dex. Don't go any further as the damage increase is less than 5% for every 50 dex. So even if you want to go full glass cannon 50 con or 100 con, you would put your points in all these other attributes instead, as it will be a bigger damage boost. The 50 strength passive is currently bugged, and the 25 strength bonus increases both light and heavy attack damage, so I'll only go up to 25 here. 50 int for these 2 damage boosts, but whenever they do fix 50 strength, obviously you're going to drop the int to 25 and then increase the strength back to 50. 25 focus for the 5% cooldown reduction, and then 250 con. The 250 bonus isn't that big of a deal, but from a pure ratio perspective, there's nothing else worth it for more damage at the cost of health. For example, the 100 strength passive, you lose thousands of HP for 10% more damage, but obviously you're becoming way more than just 10% tankier with that amount of con, so in a trade situation, you're at a disadvantage when you go 100 strength, the same way 200 con was the best choice pre-expansion. The skill tree is still the same for both bow and rapier, no big changes here. Moving on to the gear. For gems, I'm running plus 5 stamina just for pure utility and survivability. That's completely up to you, to be honest. You guys know I like my stamina uptime, but the popular choice is just 5% range damage, so again, that's completely up to you. For weapons, this is still the best bow. Yes, enchanted is nerfed, but vicious and crit builds in general on bow are not worth it anymore, or weren't even worth it before the expansion. Bow only has a 1.3 multiplier, Vicious is completely nerfed, and you have way lower crit chance than before. I crafted this, but you can get this for free by farming Brimstone Elites and getting it that way. Then you can add or change the third perk to be Attunement with 3 chromatic seals. And then for Rapier, this is just a placeholder one until I get the Rapier artifact, which is extremely good. This 15% extra damage affects your secondary weapon too, and works with Keenly Jagged, so simply it's an all-around 15% damage boost on bow. For accessories, I use the Azalt Inductor to just force Biss. Normally Azalt Inductor is stupid expensive mat-wise, but it's only around 40k in mats for jewelry, so it's pretty much a Biss jewelry for 40 to 60k. I bought 2 people's inductor crafts for 40k each, obviously a little overpriced, but it's not always going to be like that, and you can use your own inductor if you want to wait 3 weeks too. Or just buy it on the market whenever. Just know that if you're spending more than 100k on any jewelry, you're pretty much getting scammed, so just be aware of that. For Amulet, I'm running the usual health and stamina recovery, but now protection as a third perk instead of divine. Alchemist Reprieve, which is the replacement for the real divine, is the same category as stamina recovery, so we pretty much lost our extra HP from the pots. I'm putting flame protection, but obviously I'm just going to make one for every single damage and switch it depending on the situation, and you can do this for pretty much free with your old champion's amulets or new ones from the PvP track, so don't spend too much money on amulets. On the ring, I'm using Thrust and Hardy obviously, and for the final perk we're going Bloodletting to work with the Keenly Jagged damage buff from Rapier. Definitely want to have 100% uptime with that because it's basically 25% damage if you count the bow passive and the artifact. And on the earring, you know I love my 2 toasts. Regenerating is also super strong right now with the 20,000 health we're going to have, so you're pretty much getting 1k HP every 10 seconds. Pots in general are super weak right now, but based on all the complaints, they'll probably be buffed back to proper level soon, or fingers crossed the devs actually listen to us for once. On the artifact, put Shirking Energy. Since the artifact is also medium pants, we're running light chest and medium boots to fully optimize the loadout at 12.6. Light chest is from the faction vendor, but the perks are all exactly the same on what you need, so in the future I'll just get a 700 piece with the exact same perks. Most probably from M3 named items that you can pick the third perk of. And the same thing applies to light faction gloves. Skill perks on both helmet and boots. What I did is I paid someone 20k to use their daily chromatic seal cooldown and then forced the skill perk plus enchanted ward. There's a high chance you get a Biss perk, and in this case I ended up with health, which is exactly what I wanted. For my helmet, I got arcane harnessing, which I know I'm going to use for my other build that I'm working on, so I put a sided gem in it instead. Eventually, this will be replaced with an enchanted ward, empowering explosive, and refreshing head. And then I'll put an energizing gem inside that. With that, we hit our 4 refreshing cap, and the build is fully complete. And here's some more gameplay to end the video with. Sorry if I talked a little too fast, I'm just trying to get all this out today while I'm at my lunch break.